Welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And welcome to the show. Can you believe it? We have another concert recap episode for you.
It's so insane how many of these we've done lately. I've never been to this many concerts in my life in such a short period of time. And the other day I was like, I'm giving myself tinnitus. I gotta get myself those earbuds that you have.
Yeah, they've really been coming in clutch. Like, I love my earplugs. But anyway, we were so graciously invited by Abyss to go see Sunmi on her second world tour at her stop in Los Angeles. And it was such a treat.
Yeah, it was so incredible. We were initially invited to speak with her in New York, but because we're based in LA, we weren't able to do that. So they extended the invitation to go to the show, which was at the Wiltern. This is a really beautiful, like, old theater in LA, like right in Koreatown. And it was great. We had really excellent seats. The way that the Wiltern is set up is that it has, like, they do general admission on the floor, and then it has a big balcony, like mezzanine. So that's where we were. We were in the first section of the mezzanine. And it was incredible. The tour is called Good Girl Gone Mad. And yeah, I think that she's about in the middle of it, like kind of right at the
towards
beginning.
the end, actually. It's a 16-stop tour, and we were at the 13th show.
Great.
There's only a couple more left.
Okay, wonderful.
So we were near the end, but she was still bringing it after being around the world for so many stops, because she started in Europe and, like, it's been all over the place. And the last show will be in Seoul in a couple of days, I think.
Great. Fantastic.
Yeah, so we'll do what we do and tell you all about the concert and recap it from the beginning.
Yeah, so we showed up at the theater, had to, like, find our little staff person. And when we got in, we weren't quite sure where our seats were, but we were able to find them pretty easily. And I was sitting on the, like, right side of the stage and in the first row of the mezzanine. So I was, like, right up against the little wall. And there were, like I said, standing room on the floor for the general admission, and then the balcony had 2 levels. So we were in the first level, and then I noticed that there were like 2 sections on the ground that had almost like a little VIP setup where it was, like, blocked off from the standing room only. And those chairs had, like, tables, like little bar tables. And the floor was absolutely packed, like, all the way to the back, it seemed. And the mezzanine was very full as well. So I don't know if it was completely sold out, but it was a very full house.
Yeah.
And I had an incredible view. I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, I was a little more towards the center and just 1 row back. So I could also see incredibly well, and there was nobody sitting next to me the whole time, so I had an empty seat. But I did hurt my old lady back, like, very badly. Like, I'm still in pain today because there was nobody to the left of me, but there was somebody to the right of me. So I was, like, cheating very far to the left and, like, twisted to, like, write my notes and try to be, like, out of their space. And, like, a few songs in, I, like, moved and was like, oh no, my back. I've done something terrible. But it was great. And, like, yeah, very big, full crowd. Definitely, like, skewed more male than probably more of the concerts that we go to. But I also thought it was a nice, like, relief after people being so dressed up for Twice, that there was a lot more jeans and t-shirt.
Yeah, more casual
vibe. So that was fun.
Yes, I was sitting next to a mother-daughter who spoke only Spanish, but the daughter was incredibly excited. She was, like, bouncing in her seat the whole time, but the mom knew every fucking word. Like, she was also a huge Sunmi fan. And then there were 3 people, like, in 20-something Asian people, like 2 guys and a girl sitting next to me on the other side. And I heard one of them say that it was their first K-pop concert. Yeah, like, one of the guys was like, oh, we're bringing them for their first K-pop concert. And the guys kind of seemed to just be like sitting back and like enjoying the show. But the girl sitting next to me was like leaned all the way up on the wall.
I saw her every
and,
time I
like,
looked down to see if I could see you. I could just see the girl next to you like leaned all the way over the wall.
She was having a great time. I actually think she got a little bit, I saw her like look at me a few times when I was singing. I was like, I'm sorry if I'm singing too loud. But whenever I have my mask on in the concert, I'm like, no one can hear me, right? But you can.
Yeah.
But yeah. So before the show started and everybody was sitting down, because it is like a smaller venue and it wasn't like a big stadium show, the stage setup was much more simple than some of the other world tours we've seen. It just had one huge screen set up in the back. And then there was no kind of like, there were no risers. There was nothing that got brought onto the stage to build it up even more. And it started with like a watery background and just the tour name, Good Girl Gone Mad, for the beginning.
Yeah, and they like turned the lights down and played Porapipam over the like loudspeakers, and everybody was singing and stuff. And then I thought I heard people on the floor doing fan chants, and I got really excited. I was like, oh boy, does this crowd know fan chants? Like that will be very fun if they do. But yeah, this concert was hard for me because my band is recording a new single tomorrow. So I could not make noise during this concert. I could not scream. I had to just clap. And like, it was immediately apparent that was going to be very, very difficult, but I was really good and I didn't do it. But like, oh my God, it was so hard to not be able to scream.
I screamed so much. There were some parts after the show, Shannon was like, I think I heard you screaming. And I was like, probably, because I waited for everybody to get quiet. And then I said, Sunmi, you're incredible. So I'm a little hoarse today, but that's okay. I also noticed before the show started that someone on the crowd, because there were a few people who had light sticks in the floor, and one person had a twice bong, which I was like, that's not correct, but whatever. He seemed to have a great time. And so then once the show started, we got like the lights went down and we got these like red lights like firing everywhere all over the crowd and like big sirens to open it. And then we had a little bit of a VCR with like loud ambient sounds
and shattering glass.
Yeah, and like sirens in the background.
This was when I was like, oh shit, I don't have my earplugs in. Yeah. Like as soon as this started, I was like, oh right, concerts are loud. And I like quickly had to go like pop my earplugs in.
And there was like black and white, like flashy footage of the names of the cities that she had been to and like close-ups of her. And then big title cards that said, Good Girl Gone Mad. And then Sunmi and 4 female dancers came out. And Sunmi was wearing this like red short dress that had like pink frills attached to it. So it had like flowy things like coming off of it. And she had like high black boots. And the dancers were wearing like silver mini dresses with shorter.
They were like sequin dresses.
Yeah, sequined silver sparkly things with like shorter like ankle black boots. And they started with Siren. And Sunmi came out, she did it with a hand mic and they did like the full choreo, even the part with like the little bars, like the boy. So she had 4 female dancers and 2 male dancers with her for this tour. And so the boys came out to like hold out the bars and she said like, LA, make some noise. And then like they do the whole cage dance. It was great.
And that's when I wrote in all caps, oh my fucking God, Hot Boy is here. And like, I won't say I was as excited to see him as I was to see Sunmi, but it was very exciting to see him after like obsessing over him for years and years. And it was like, he is Sunmi's dancer. And like, it wouldn't be the same if he wasn't there. So I was so fucking excited that he was there.
It's funny because I must have been just like so laser focused on Sunmi for the first 2 songs because I literally have in my note on the second song, no sign of Hot Boy yet because I didn't even recognize. I was like not even registering like who was in front of me. And then later on I was like, wait, just kidding. Hot Boy has been here the whole time. Like, of course she would never tour without him. Like, what was I thinking? But so then the second song, they went from Siren straight into La La Lay. And the two boys came out to be the furniture for her to like sit on at the beginning.
Yes, my first note is, yes, you sit on that man, because that's what I wanted to scream. But again, I could not make a sound. So I was just, I actually brought a book and a pencil for this so that I wouldn't be like depending on my phone to not die. So I was like scribbling furiously instead of yelling. And I also noted for La La Lay, because I thought it was fun, that Sunmi did the like flight announcement part like live into her mic. It like wasn't on the track. She like did the ladies and gentlemen part, and I was like, wow, this is so fun.
That was great. And I wrote that she didn't do a lot of the verse choreo. Like she would always join her dancers for the chorus, but she spent a lot of the verses. I wrote being slutty for the crowd, but what that means is just like playing to the crowd, and like she would like come to the edge of the stage and like squat down and like sing right in their faces. And the dancers would follow her wherever she went, which I thought was really cool. Like, so if she walked over to one side of the stage, like they would follow her and continue to do the choreo behind. And the background was like a big spider web that had butterflies all over it, like trapped in it. And then the middle of the spider web was just Sunmi's mouth, like the Rocky Horror lips, like in the middle. And after La La Lay, we got our first Ment. So this is where Sunmi said hello to everybody. And unlike essentially every concert we've ever seen, Sunmi did not have a voice of God translator. She spoke in English almost the entire time, and she never needed or had anybody translate anything that she said in Korean. She just like spoke English for most of it. And she said that she'd missed us all so much, and she was really happy to meet with us again. She said Sunmi is finally back, but that she was nervous to perform again because it had been 3 years. And the crowd like started chanting.
There was a break for a Sunmi, 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 Sunmi.
And then she looked up at the balcony and she said, hello up there. And she like greeted all of us. And then she asked if anybody in the crowd spoke Korean.
Korean.
Yeah. And a bunch of people like cheered. So then she said a greeting like in Korean. And then she switched back to English and she said, the fact that we're sharing the same moment and space makes me so happy. I feel alive again. The start of the concert, like the first few songs were all about energy and like, I can feel you here with me. So let's enjoy tonight. And she talked a little bit about how the title of the tour, Good Girl Gone Mad, she said that she had thought about her discography over the years and that sentence seemed to be the best description of what she had put out so far. And she wanted to solidify the color of the artist Sunmi. And she said she couldn't wait to hear our voices for the next song and went into Porapi Pam.
My only note for Porapi Pam is that earlier in the song, she has like a little sexy moment with Hot Boy. They do like a fake out, like make out thing, and the whole crowd went like woo woo woo. And then in the second verse, she did a little like move with the other boy, and nobody like there was less woos, and he literally shrugged like, I know I'm not the one you want to see like doing this, and I just like thought it was very funny.
That's hilarious. I didn't even notice that. That's so funny. Yeah, she had like a trippy, like geometric, abstract, like VCR behind her. But this is where my note was like, oh, of course, Hot Boy's been here the whole time. So that's my main note for Porapi Pam, is that he was in fact there. And then we went into Sunny, and Sunny started without anything playing behind. Like it was just a black screen with them, like with her singing. And then there was a flower field that was underwater, like I don't know, but like looked like a meadow of flowers, but like instead of being sky, it was like on the bottom of the sea. And my only note for Sunny is I love Hot Boy so much.
Yeah, so I had to stifle my scream the hardest, because this is probably my favorite Sunmi song, like maybe ever. I'm obsessed with Sunny. I love it so much. So I was really excited that she was doing it. So I immediately like took a video of it to send to Yusong, because Yusong and I both really like this song, and he always thought that in the second verse when she says little turtle that she was saying Ninja Turtle.
Yes.
So I specifically recorded that part, and I was like, Ninja Turtle live. And then the note that I wrote after her and Hot Boy had some moment is, It would literally be the greatest love story in all of K-pop if they ever just decided to get together because
yeah.
like the chemistry is off the charts and they've been together for like so long and he's
Yeah.
like always like the boy in all our dances and like if they were in love for real, like oh my God, it would be so magical.
It really would. It would be great. And we have talked about how idols date their backup dancers. Like they're always around. But even if they're just besties, I love them together. They're so cute.
They're so cute.
And then we got another chat. Sunmi did. This was fun because like we didn't say this at the top, but we've never seen a solo artist world tour.
No.
Like, we've never seen a solo artist in concert. And so we were curious to see how that would change, like kind of the overall concert format, I guess.
Right.
And one thing I noticed was that she talked a lot, like way more than a group would do. So after these two songs, she talked about how these songs were full of summer vibes and the fan cheers that were present like made the stage seem so much more full. The crowd started cheering at this point and she got like a little bit overwhelmed. It was really sweet. She like didn't know what to do. At this point, I have a note that says one person in the balcony is hella loud.
I wrote, "Is that Angelica screaming?" Because it was coming from your section and I couldn't
like, right
tell.
behind me. It was not me, but there was a woman in my section who would like at any moment of silence scream bloody murder. Like specific phrases, not just like an ah. But anyway, Sunmi said, "Are you ready for fun? Are you sure?" And then she introduced the next song and said, "Sing along if you can." And that took us into Black Pearl. And at this point, somebody brought out a mic stand for her and it was just her on stage. There was a video of like a black pearl with these like rotating Saturn rings behind her. And my main note is just that she sounds literally perfect. Like her voice was flawless throughout the entire show. She moved her mic stand with her to all sides of the stage. She didn't just stay in the middle. And my note is that she worked the crowd so fucking well.
That's
like,
what I wrote. My note is that she kept doing this very cheeky skirt lift.
Yes.
Like her dress was already very short, but she kept like lifting it a little bit. And I wrote like, holy shit, she is working this crowd and they are going nuts.
Yeah. She was, it was really fun to see somebody be able to own the stage all by themselves. That was really cool because that's something I think that's interesting with solo artists is that they have to be there all by themselves. And like sometimes to see her do certain numbers without any backup dancers was fun.
Right.
I didn't really know if that's what we would get, but it was cool to see her just like own it all on her own. So after after Black Pearl, we got Narcissism, which is a black B-side off of the You Can't Stay With Us album. And we had a new background. There was like a vine-covered mask underwater, and she asked us to clap along. And this is where I have notes where she pulls up her dress and deep squats for the crowd because she kept doing that. And she like took the mic off of the stand at this point to like play more with the crowd. And she loved being on the edge of the stage, which was really cool. She got like right up close, and the pit, like the like front of the standing room was like a foot away from the stage. So like she got real close to those people that were right at the front. And so Narcissism, she also did just by herself. And then we went into Borderline. And for Borderline, 2 of the female dancers came out and the 3 of them did a little bit of choreo. And there was like a black and white video of Sunmi and like abstract shapes playing in the background while the 3 of them went through this song.
My notes for Borderline were just that the dancers were working so hard.
Yeah.
And like, because I think during this song, because Sunmi was like up at the front, like really playing to the people in the front, I was just watching the girls who were like dancing so hard in the back. And I just wanted to give them a moment of my eyes because they were working so hard back there.
They were dancing hard.
And it was cool to see like, because of the size of the theater and our vantage point of being above the stage, it was like I could see the dancers so clearly that it was like you wanted to watch them. They didn't feel like extra pieces. It was like, this is part of the whole performance. You have to take it all in.
100%. And there was like a funny choreo moment where the dancers like tangled their hands in her hair. Didn't you have a note about that?
I thought I had a note about it. I wonder if I missed it.
I remember we talked about it afterward, but I'm pretty sure it was in Borderline when that happened.
Yes.
But anyway, so after Borderline, the Sunmi and the two dancers like scampered off stage in the dark, and we got our first VCR, which was really more of like a short film as opposed to...
It was called Distorted parentheses film.
And we got like, it started with like weird melty colors of like orange and blue, and you could see like the film strip on the side, and it was just like an art house film. There was like a shot of like a hand in grass and like Sunmi looking through the blinds, and there was a voiceover in Korean of Sunmi speaking, and there were subtitles at the top the whole time, and it was like she was running through the rain. There was like a film projector. There was a shot of a goose, Sunmi looking at negatives. And then I have a note that says, oh my God, these forest shots and under the sheets moments are literally my fantasy co-ed concept. Sunmi, I love you. You get me. But for this one, I didn't write down any of the only thing I wrote is the last line of it, which was someone is coming in. But I didn't write down like what the narration was. I was like trying to take notes of the visuals, and I just didn't. I don't know what it was
I
about.
took a video of the entire thing, and I thought that at some point last night when I was transcribing my pencil notes to typed notes that I would go type it out, but I didn't. But it was just like poetry.
Yeah, it was
whatever.
poetry setting a tone. And so after that little film, then we got Gotta Go. And this is a single that was from 2020 that was released as an OST for a web series called XX. And so now we have the dancers are in new outfits. They're wearing these like gray mini dresses that had like spaghetti strap tops, and then you could like see their white bras underneath, and then the skirts were like short skirts that were like that
Tattered?
torn.
Yeah.
Like tattered, that like used to be cool in like the early 2000s. And they were like gray. They had white short boots, and then the to go with their like white sports bras and white shorts. And I personally thought these outfits were really ugly.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Sunmi looked beautiful. She came out in a gold nude sparkly mini dress with knee-high white boots. I love that she wore just like flat boots the whole time. And she again had a hand mic. She did the full choreo, but Sunmi played to the crowd for the verses again. And the boys came out, and they were wearing gray cargo pants and like big white short sleeve button-ups. And the background of this had the lyrics.
It was like like a trippy lyric video.
Yeah, it was like red and black, and the lyrics were in both English and Hangul. And it was a little chaotic
because it was like big banners, like it would be the same lyric repeated like 25 times, like zipping past each other. So it wasn't just like full blocks of the lyrics. They were like
almost like caution tape, like layered over. And we went immediately into Call. And the girls left, and it was just the two boys on stage. And I wrote that the dancers take turns. I don't know what that means. Probably take turns being like the boy that does stuff
I think
with
it
her.
was that the boys started and then left, and then the girls came in for the chorus or something.
Yes, that must be
because
what
I wrote down is there was a point where her and the girls were doing like floor choreo, and they had changed the stage lighting so that it was very shadowy. And when the dancer girls were on the floor, I noticed the bunching around their knees, that they were wearing like Hooters tights.
Oh,
like they were not bare-legged. They had tights like on, and you could
colored tights.
Yeah, and you could only tell at that one moment when the lighting changed and that their like knees were bent on the ground. I was like, oh, they all have tights on, and I wrote it down.
That's funny. I didn't even notice. But I did have a note that so that song ended with the lights going completely down, and when it ended, like at the end of the stage, the dancers split, like 3 went to the left and 3 went to the right, and as soon as the lights went down, the 3 that went to the left like scampered across the stage to like go back to the other side. And then we got another ment, so she talked to us again. She asked if we were enjoying the concert, and she talked about the preparation. She said that while she was preparing for the tour, she felt that her songs are really colorful. And she said that music is a channel for me to express and talk about myself, and that these songs have everything about me in them, so you can feel closer to me through them. She said that this moment was an inspiration for her. And then she said, oh, and my outfit changed. Do you like it? I thought that was really cute, like an afterthought, like, oh, and also I changed clothes. And she said that she had prepared every detail because it had been a really long time, but not just the performance. Like I think that's where she was saying, like, why she brought up the outfit of like, I thought about every single detail for this because she didn't want to just have a performance. She wanted to show her real self and like the different sides of her. So she put a lot of effort into it. And then she asked if we liked the video and the film. And she said, I want you to know that I wanted to be free from distorted views and portray my honest views. We still have a lot of performances, so I hope you enjoy listening to my story.
And then there was a moment during this Ment that I wrote down, like, we obviously missed it because of how high we were, but there was at some point at this Ment where she literally like stopped and went to the edge of the stage and was like, somebody a few people back was like telling her something. Like she had like a moment with like a person and they told her something and then she like got back up or whatever. But I was like, oh, I wonder what that was about. But,
like, I don't know.
She
I
took
didn't
a
even write
moment
that
for
down.
like someone to tell her something. And I was like, that was cute.
Cute. So then we went into 1/6. This is another recent B-side. And the mic stand got brought back out and we had a like VCR of the moon because 1/6 is about how it's about like the gravity on the moon is 1/6 of what it is on Earth, I think. So the VCR was a moon in black and white, and then Sunmi was like in the moon, like singing. And I noticed at this point that to the right of me, there were people that had gotten up to be able to dance on the stairs because nobody in the balcony stood up. Like everybody, this was the only concert I have ever sat all the way through.
But it was nice because we could see. So I imagine everyone could see perfectly, which is why we were all like, let's just sit.
Yeah. Because nobody stood up. I was like bouncing and dancing in my chair, just like the girl next to me. But I thought it was cute that people got up to dance. And then she crouched down at the edge to sing to the crowd as well. And when she crouched down at the edge, she went straight into Childhood, which is the B-side for Heartburn. And she just sat on the edge of the stage and held the mic and just sang it from there, which was really cool. I loved that moment. It was just like a simple spotlight, her alone on the edge of the stage. And that's what I love that song.
My only note for this section, and it's fine, it was just an observation. We just tell you what these concerts are like. But I observed when I was like scanning the crowd that like quite a few people did have Sunmi light sticks, but in a way I've never seen at a concert, nobody was like moving them.
Yeah.
Like there's usually like a swinging a hammer kind of motion, or at least like swaying them side to side.
Something
but it
to
was
the
like
beat.
everyone was just holding them like very close to their chests and probably just staring in awe at her. But I was like, none of the light sticks are moving. It was like everyone was just clutching them.
Well, I can only imagine like because even after the show, like I almost had like a bittersweet feeling about it because I love Sunmi. Like she's, I think, my favorite solo artist. And I almost was like, I don't want to, I mean, it was a little bittersweet just because I had to like, we were invited as guests for the show. So like I had to take really diligent notes and I like made sure to get like little clips of as much of as I can. But usually I'm not a person who's on my phone during a concert. Like I don't take pictures, I don't take videos. Like I just watch the show. And I felt a little bit like sad that I couldn't just like lean forward like the girl next to me and just like heart eyes at Sunmi the entire time. So I can only imagine that the people who were on the floor right in front of her, like if I was there, I would have just been like still and like staring and like not even, I would have forgotten I was even holding a light stick. But so after Childhood, she got up and she talked to us again. And she said that she was so happy to show us what she finally wanted to show us. But that she was quickly going to move on to the next one to do something that Miyane had been dreaming about. And she was like, are you curious? And then a bass got brought out. So she still had her mic stand in the middle of the stage. And she had a pearl aqua bass and bass cord. So a guy came out and gave her bass and plugged her in. And she took a moment to tune it, which was fun. And then she played What the Flower, which is
I was so
my
excited
favorite.
for you.
That's my number one favorite Sunmi song. And she did it on a Pearl Aqua bass, standing alone on stage with a mic stand. Can you believe it? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It was so good. It was so good. And she went straight from What the Flower to Noir.
And it was a much more like rock version of Noir to like go along with the live bass playing. It was like definitely it was a rockier version.
Yeah, totally. And she was like, you know this song, right? And then the background was just video because there had to have been like a camera that was on her, like playing like whatever, and that's the feed that was on the screen. But it was like a split screen of her 3 times and like red, purple, and blue. And then she did a bass solo like halfway through the song, and I just have it in all caps, bass solo Sunmi, with like 1,000 crying emojis. And then she talked to us again. So like I said, she talked a lot. She asked how it was. And she said, "You like me playing the bass?" And she said, "I'm not a professional bassist, but I did my best. I tried my best to prepare this special performance." And she said that playing the bass was a big challenge for her because it's confusing to sing and play at the same time.
So she did a little demonstration.
Yes,
she like took her a second to like doom, 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 and then she like did a little part like
of What the Flower,
acapella with her bass or whatever. And I just wrote like, she is so effing cute. She's trying so hard. This is so great. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it was so cute. And she goes, "This is why most people don't sing while playing the bass." But she said that she wanted to focus on the moment right now. So she handed off the bass and the mic stand and switched to her hand mic, took a little water break, and then said, "We still have lots of things to do, but what I really want to do with Miyane is a 3rd world tour. Can we make that happen? Are you going to come back?" And everybody screamed, "Yes, of course we will." And she said, "Okay, let's make today cool as well. The next song is the most whistly release, you know?" And then she got the crowd to sing along a little bit. And then she looked at us and she said, "You guys can do better than that." And then she had us sing it multiple times.
And I wrote in all caps, "She is unhappy."
Yeah.
I think it's okay. Like, it seems like everybody was singing, but she was like not having it. And after the 3rd time, she just went, "Close."
Yes.
And then moved on.
She was never satisfied. She made us do it 3 times and then she was not happy with it. But she was like, "Fine, I guess I'll just sing this myself." So then we got heartburn. And they did bring out the big
giant
props.
fans.
I loved that. I thought that was so fun. So the dancers are in the same gray outfits. And there was like the background video was just like close-ups of Sunmi with kind of like a reddish filter. There was never just straight video of her. Like, it was always colored or distorted or in black and white or like in some kind of image. It was always
A little fancy.
Yeah. A little fancier than just like the direct feed from the camera. And she even did the whole like rope choreo part, like everything about heartburn she did like to a T, and it was fantastic. And then my next note is that we got our 2nd VCR, which was called Moulin Rouge. And this one had like blurry dice and a projector. It was another art house film. I actually did write down some of the text of this. It was another like same style voiceover in Korean with English subtitles. And there was like a lot of footage of flowers and Sunmi. And it said, "A girl gave me a flower. I put it in a vase." And then letters in water can't be erased. And then there were like birds chirping and like footage of Sunmi and nature. "Girls that can't be erased, approach me. A girl you don't know gave you a flower." And then, so that was another little art house film, very poetic, very fancy. And then we got 24 Hours, which was quite a throwback. And we have new outfits this time. Sunmi came out in like a white mini dress with black bra straps and like a little thigh slit. And she had like black thigh-high tights on with ankle boots. And the girls were in like they were in like strappy like one pieces, like it looked like a jumpsuit where like it was all like one piece, and it was long pants, but the torso had like a
lot of cutouts
halter
and
then
straps.
a lot of like side cutouts. And the boys were just in black tanks that had like been like t-shirts that had been cut to like show their whole sides, and like black pants. So very simple outfits for the boys. And yeah, she did 24 hours. Did you have any notes for
I
that
missed
one?
all of this.
Oh, you went to the bathroom.
I went to the bathroom during the Moulin Rouge VCR, and I'm usually so good at this, but I realize it's because lately we've been going to like stadium concerts where there are 30 toilets in the bathroom. So if I just start running when the VCR starts, I'm always back before the next song. But there were only 3 stalls up on the balcony bathrooms, and the line got so long, and I was like, I'm missing things, and I was so upset. But like, I wasn't gonna make it. I wasn't gonna make it.
Yeah.
But I came back in the middle of, I think, the next song.
Yes, and the next song was "Oh Sorry Yeah," which is another single that she recently released, and I think that it was like a commercial or something, but it's a catchy song. And there was a one point where like the dancers were there and like this song has choreo, but at one point the 2 boy dancers held up like a black sheet and there was a light that came on like behind her and she did like a little like silhouette dance. And then she like played to the crowd while the dancers did the choreo behind her. And we went straight from "Oh Sorry Yeah" into "Tail." And my note is, I'm gonna die. And then also that she didn't sit on Hot Boy. Why? Because for my favorite part of that song is when all of the dancers are there and she uses Hot Boy as a chair, and it's the line where she says, I'm not much of a drinker. I can't remember how the rest of it goes. I'm not much of a drinker. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
But I'm a dream girl, yeah.
But I'm a dream girl. That's what it was. That's my favorite line. And she usually does it sitting on him and then like goes and jumps on him and does the little ha, ha, like on his thighs. And he was not her chair. She just sat on a regular chair.
Real
and I was
chair.
like, excuse me, get back out here, human furniture. But whatever, it's fine. I love that song. It was so good.
Yeah, my only note was just like, oh my God, this is so good in person. I can't believe I'm seeing this. Like, again,
Yes.
the balcony view of the part where the girls all line up and they do the tail shakes, like getting to see all of it. I was like,
Yeah.
this is the best.
It was so good. I literally started melting at the very beginning when she was crawling through all of them and like laid down on the floor. It was so good. It was so good. And then she talked to us again. And she said that each and every song was special to her. So she hoped that it was a good gift, especially Tail. She said that this tour was a challenge, but that you guys filled the final piece. Thank you so much. And then she spent some time like thanking the crowd. Like, you mean everything to me. This moment right now is so meaningful. It's like a dream. I want each of you to know that you're my biggest inspiration. And then she said that it had been 16 years since her debut, and she asked the crowd if we liked the Wonder Girls, and everybody
If we missed the Wonder Girls.
Oh, if we missed them.
specifically.
Oh, I just read that do you like them? But yes, we do miss them. And then she said that it had been 10 years since she debuted as a solo artist. And I wrote that she said, we've done a good job. But she said, every moment was sincere and nothing came easily. If I was a 100-meter runner before, I think I changed to a marathon runner. I'll cross the finish line eventually, and all of you will please be by my side. Are you with me? Thank you so much. Let's meet. I love you. Let's meet again. And then asked again if we would come for a third world tour. Are you sure? And people started cheering and chanting,
Sunmi, Sunmi.
Sunmi. And she said, now it's time to say goodbye. And she wanted to thank Miyane for being here. So please enjoy the last performance. And she said, I'm not going to lie. Let's meet again. Promise? And then she spoke a little bit in Korean. And she said, I love you so much, LA. Yours truly, Sunmi. And I thought it was really cute that she had like signed off on it. And we got Heroine. So the 2 boys brought out a chair, and they did like most of the main choreo, and then it ended with Sunmi alone on stage. Did you have any other notes for Heroine?
Before Heroine started, I wrote, it's 8:28, way to do a school night concert, Sunmi.
Yes.
I was so excited that it was already only 8:30, and it was like, oh, it's almost over. Like, all right.
Yeah, the show started like promptly at
at
7
7.
too, which was great.
And that
Because it was a Monday night.
Yeah. And my Heroine note was just that everyone was singing so loud. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that was the song that people were like singing the loudest because those hey, yeah, yes are so fun to do.
Yeah. And she let the crowd sing a lot of that. Like, I have a video of her just like giving the crowd or the mic. And she was really into hearing us sing along with her, which was fun.
And then I wrote that she said at some point in the middle of Heroine, she said, LA, are you ready to jump? And then I wrote, the balcony is shaking, even though there were only like 10 people standing up. Like I looked behind me because it like the balcony started to like shake, like people were jumping. And I looked around and there were like literally only 10 people standing up. And I was like, oh shit, if we had all stood and jumped on this balcony, I think it would have been bad.
Oh my God. It's like that message that we got about how they could feel the balcony moving. Yeah, I'm glad everybody stayed in their seats. That would have freaked me out. But anyway, we went from Heroin to Burn. And this is an old song from 2014 off of the Full Moon EP. So this was another throwback I did not expect. And it started with the two boys and then two girls came out. We had like fire in with the live footage in the background. And I have this is where she screamed for
this
us
was
to
the
cheer.
jumping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this one is like kind of more EDM, like burn baby, burn. And so like it's a real jumpy song. And this is when I noticed that her dress had embroidery on the slit because the video of her, the feed of her in the background, like gave us a close up and we could see like her dress. And she had, so like on the slit, there was like a red heart and then it said name and then a word that I couldn't make out.
Think my pencil writing is, I know the second word is right. I don't know the first one, but what I wrote in pencil is heart, Nana, Jacqueline.
Oh, the second word was Jacqueline.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the first word was name, like the word name. That would be interesting if it was Nana Jacqueline. I
don't know what it was, but the second word was for sure Jacqueline, and it was like embroidered cursive along the hem of the dress.
Mm-hmm. And then the two boys stayed to do Gashina. And so that's how it opened. And then, of course, the girls joined like for the main part of the choreo, but it started with them being like the table for her to sit on. And literally my only note for Gashina is, God damn it, she's so hot.
Mine is all caps, this is a moment. Because I was seeing Gashina in person and I had a little like moment about it.
Yeah, it was great. It was incredible. I was just like thinking back to like the first time I heard that song. And what a great show. So then that was like the last song of the set list. And I had my first note was like encore ? Because I wasn't sure if we were going to get one. And the crowd started chanting for one, like encore, encore. And we had like the Good Girl Gone Bad, like in red letters on the screen. And we got a very short VCR, like a new VCR that had like a short voiceover, and then it went straight into the tour title. And then all of the dancers came back out and they were wearing big black t-shirts and little teeny shorts.
I have to say something about this final VCR because there was a line in it that I wrote down, and then what I wrote down next to it is I hope I remember that, because I like wrote it down and was like, wow. But one of the lines in this short VCR was, a ripened wound smells like flowers.
Ew. Right? Sunmi. Gross. No, it doesn't. That's very funny. But so we got the like typical tour tees. Everybody was matching. It seemed like literally all of the girls and boys were wearing like the same size t-shirt. Yeah. And Sunmi had just like taken her dress off and thrown a t-shirt on over it. So she still had her thigh highs on and everything. And they did You Can't Sit With Us. So, my only note is she's a dream. But they did You Can't Sit With Us. It was very fun. They did the full choreo. I loved every time she did the little like hip bump. It seemed like she was doing it like very cheekily every time. And then we got our final ment. That's my next note.
Yes.
So she thanked everybody. I wrote down that somebody threw a huge lesbian flag on the stage and she like held it up through her thanks. And then she took the time to she started with the dance captain, and then she introduced every single one of her dancers. She gave their names and then had them do a little bit of a solo. She would like say, this is so-and-so, and then she'd say, show them. I love that she said that to each one, just show them, and then made them do something, some little thing. Did you write down all of the dancers' names?
I did write all of the dancers' names down. So first we met the dance captain, and apologies if these names are wrong. This was just what I was hearing Sunmi saying, and she was trying to be very clear, but
she did enunciate, but she like took a moment and then like enunciated
everybody's names. But I think the dance captain's name is Chan Ju Hui. Then we met Shin Eun-kyung, and she did a pop and lock for her thing. And then Kang Eun-ju. And at this moment, Sunmi had gotten a sign from someone in the audience that had this dancer's name on it in like glittery Korean. So she handed it to her to do her little moment. And then here's our maknae, Hong Ji-yoon. And then Sunmi got another sign from the crowd and like put it face down for later.
And the maknae twerked and then did the WAP, which I thought was very funny.
Then we met the first boy, who I believe his name was Lee Chan.
That's what I heard.
And he did a little dance with like a flower, like a plastic flower in his mouth. And then it was Hot Boy's turn. His name is Chan Hyun Song. And if you don't know who like Hot Boy is, like he is Sunmi's main dancer. He was on that show Singles Inferno on Netflix if you watched it.
He's a bodybuilder and when he's not dancing for Sunmi, so his body is insane.
Yeah, he does like underwear modeling and shit.
And he's always really tan because he's a bodybuilder.
Yes. So the crowd goes nuts for him, obviously. And the sign that Sunmi had saved for later was this small cardboard cutout bust of his like shirtless torso. And then it had two buff arms on little brads so that you could like lift them and make him flex.
It was like a little puppet. It was so
very
funny.
Cute.
And then he did this like crazy flip.
B-boy flip.
Yeah, and the maknae like pretended to throw her shoe at him. And then she took a picture with the crowd and she introduced her photographer, which is her brother. She was like, he's the best photographer in the world. And she held up the flags and the signs for the photo. And then I have a note that says she took a photo with a fan camera.
Yes, there was a point between, because first we took a picture with the dancers, then the dancers scurried away and Sunmi ran to the side and was like, let's take a picture of just us. But somebody in the front row had one of those Insta-X Polaroids. And she picked it up and took a selfie and then handed them their camera back. And then she went out and she had the lesbian flag and someone had also given her an ace flag.
Yes.
And she spread them out in front of her and then like posed.
Yeah, and took a
took
picture.
another picture.
And I also had, I didn't write it down in my notes, but I noticed it when I was rewatching all of the videos that I had taken. And at some point in one of the songs, because like I said, she stayed mostly on the edge of the stage. And at one point she did take somebody's camera and like sang to it for a while.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then gave it back. And she had the camera for a while. I remember rewatching it and being like, damn, that's a like keepsake forever. Like having that video on your phone. So she did an incredible job playing to the crowd the entire time. Like we said, it was just such a, like, Sunmi is someone I honestly never even thought about seeing live.
Sure.
And just because I don't know, I didn't even think about it. And it was like, I don't know, it's like getting to see Hyuna live. Like it's just like a dream that I didn't dare to dream. So getting the opportunity to not only see her, but be invited, but be there as a guest of Abyss was incredible. I'm honored and grateful. And it's like an evening I'll never forget. That was so incredible. And if she ever comes back for a Third World Tour, I will definitely be there.
Yes,
for sure.
And you all should as well.
Yeah,
because it was a great show. And I do know that a couple of y'all, based on just skimming Discord, that like some people did go to other tour stops. And I know we didn't ask for your opinions because there was a part of me that was afraid this was all going to collapse. And I like did not want to like be like, we're going to Sunmi and then get turned away at the door. So sorry that we didn't collect anybody else's concert recaps, but I'm sure they had a good time like we did.
And if you're hearing this now and you want to tell us all about your concert experience, send us an email.
Yeah.
Shoot us a voicemail. Maybe we'll put it into like one of our, random episodes. Because we have a lot to catch up on aside from all our concert recaps lately. So we would of course love to hear from you if you also got to see another stop of this tour. It was great. It was an incredible time.
It was wonderful. Yeah. And it was short and sweet. And
it was like a 20-song set list.
Oh yeah, she did a ton.
And she did all the hits. Like I honestly, I didn't have any expectations for this show, but like literally got to see every single Sunmi song I own. Like what? That was amazing.
Yeah.
Like that was great.
Yeah.
all the major title tracks that she's been releasing lately. My favorite B-sides, like a few unexpected throwbacks. Like, it was just magical. Like, this may be my favorite set list of any show we've seen.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I can pretty confidently say that.
Yeah, because it was perfect.
Yeah.
But
Bops
yeah,
from start to
it was
finish.
just interesting to realize when you're watching only one person how much time of, say, a group's concert is spent on like little solo or unit stages, or half the group talks while half changes their clothes, and like that kind of time fillery stuff that like isn't present when there's only one person performing.
Yeah.
But it was so good, and I'm just so grateful. So thank you, Abyss, for inviting us. It was so fun.
And thank you, Sunmi, for a perfect show. You put so much detail into, or so much effort into every single detail, and it really, really showed. It was flawless.
Love it. And with that, we'll be right back with a random game. All right, we are back, and the random number generator gave us another solo artist.
Someone who is close personal friends with Sunmi, her little JYP Dongsang, and that is Bam Bam from GOT7.
Yeah.
So Bam Bam, he's a Thai rapper and singer that, like I said, member of GOT7, but recently made a solo debut.
With Abyss, it looks like.
Oh, so now they're still company
Yes.
company buddies. Cute. I know that Sunmi came to his music video set for his debut, for Ribbon, his debut music video. So, because like in the behind, like she's there and he's like, why isn't JB here? And she was like, I don't know, because I'm a better older sibling than he is. But Bam Bam's name is from the Flintstones. That's where he gets it. That's where the nickname comes from. And I just read, I think that this is cute, but he got into K-pop because his mom was a really big fan of Rain and took him to a lot of concerts. And so that's what got him interested in singing and dancing. He was part of a dance crew with Lisa Blackpink in Thailand. And that's like from there is where he got discovered and eventually cast with JYP. He did return in 2018 to Thailand for the military draft, but he was exempted from serving due to volunteer and red card recruit quota being reached.
Yeah,
in his
he didn't
region.
have
So
to
he did
pull a
not
card.
have to serve. But he is very, very, very popular in Thailand. He is considered to have a great influence in Thailand. He has like 8 different brand endorsements, and his Twitter is like constantly Thailand's most mentioned entertainment account. So he's a big deal in both his home country and South Korea. He made his solo debut with the video we're going to watch. It is an EP called Ribbon, which was released on June 15th, 2021. And he released a follow-up called B on January 18th, 2022. And both EPs made it to the top 5.
Yes. And yeah, we did a deep dive on his group GOT7. If you want to know more about GOT7, there's a whole thing there. And Bam Bam's rapper tag that he introduces himself with is Double B.
Double B.
And he also is known for saying the phrase skirt, skirt a lot.
Yes.
Skirt, skirt. That's his thing.
Yeah.
He even has a song called Skirt, Skirt, because that's what he says.
He's a funny boy. And he has a lot of like writing credits and like he's been
34
featured
of
on
them,
different
I
things.
just counted.
Yeah, he has a ton. So he's been like very, and I also read that he like before doing a solo debut, like released a lot of like self-directed, self-filmed like little videos like of GOT7 or like for like as fan gifts and stuff. So he's been pretty active in producing content, like even when he was in GOT7 as well.
Yeah.
Or like even before he debuted as a soloist.
I think he's also an idol who has like one of the strongest glow ups because he
Absolutely.
like looked like such a little boy when GOT7 debuted. Like he truly had such a little child face. And then he just like shot up and was taller than all of them and has like, these cheekbones and like.
And he just became this like little fashion twig. Like now he's so like, he's just so high fashion. And I love, like, in this one, he doesn't have his, like, super, super, super short blonde hair. But I loved it when he had his super, super short blonde hair.
Yeah.
That was a good look.
So we're going to watch his debut solo music video, Ribbon. If you want to watch it with us, just pull it up and press play when I say go. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so we have Bam Bam in a flowered printed suit laying on a black floor with flowers all around him and a flower in his mouth.
And he's got like little pastel like chunks in his hair of like pink, and the hair is white, but it has like little blue tinges.
Yes, kind of
too.
like cotton candy hues. Oh, and now he's in a
chunky
big
knit sweater. I
chunky
love
pink sweater with no shirt on underneath. And there's also a set of him in the suit in a black box doing the choreo. And then the other set where he's wearing the chunky sweater, he's like on a bunch of little boxes that say like, I don't know if they say Bam Bam or Ribbon on it. Oh, that's the same outfit as Timeen from Advice.
Oh, that plaid with the like
spiky
tufts on it.
Yeah.
And the little shorts. Yeah. He doesn't have the matching beret though.
No, he
that
does not.
Timeen one.
We have a bunch of different sets. Like here, he's dancing with a bunch of dancers. No one is in like a matching out. They almost look like they're going to prom.
I was gonna say this looks like the High School Musical 3 prom song part where everybody's dancing in their little their short versions of formal wear. Two Bam Bams playing chess.
There's so much fashion in this.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Look at that ruffly
Ooh,
shirt.
I like this watercolored Louis Vuitton one.
I love that suit. It's so cool.
With the like, what looks like it got wet and all of the logos are like melting.
Yeah. And so now he and his dancers are like chess pieces for a much larger Bam Bam. Oh, one of the dancers is wearing like a little horse costume.
Oh, and he flies into the sky.
Ooh, look at that suit. It has a big old bow on the shoulder. My little fashion boy.
That looks like
He's
it's
so
one
fashionable.
piece.
It does look like it's one piece.
I love it. All the Bam Bam boxes are flying up to the
Into
heavens.
Candy, cotton candy colored sky. Oh no, he's falling. Falling through the clouds. And he lands in a room filled with these little boxes.
Ooh, fancy footworks there.
Yeah.
There was the skirt.
Another skirt.
I love that it's sung so delicately. I know we joked about that when this song came out, but I love it. And this like little sleeveless like
with
lavender
and just like barefoot in the room, he looks so cute here, like a little kid
Guns
with
out.
all of his boxes. And the boxes are filled with flowers. Oh, he's so cute. Cute.
Yay!
I really, really, really liked this release. The choreo was super fun. And then it keeps
There's
going. We've got credits. So now we just have Bam Bam in all his outfits, in different sets. This looks like bloopers, sort of, because he's like laughing at the camera or falling over. This is cute.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, look at how cute he is. He keeps like talking to the people behind the camera and like giggling.
Apologizing and giggling.
Oh. These boxes remind me of like the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh yeah,
That Wes Anderson movie. Oh, what is he eating? I think he just ate a flower petal.
Yay!
So cute.
Bam.
There's a ton of really great versions of the choreo, the relay dance and a suit dance and all of those things. And I highly recommend those because they're all good fun. And he's a great dancer. And that song was just very upbeat.
Yeah.
Good release.
All right.
Little Bam Bam.
weekly recommendation time. Do you have something to recommend this week?
I mean, I don't know if you've never seen the music video for Tail, like, please fucking watch it. I know I lost my mind when that came out, but like, it's the only place where you can see like the unedited glory of her insanely slutty one pieces and like actually sitting on Hot Boy. So please watch that if you haven't already. But I feel like my main recommendation was just going to be for the song Childhood by Sunmi. This is the song that she sang sitting on the edge of the stage, and it's the B-side off of Heartburn. And I think it's just a really different style and a different sound for Sunmi. It's like, it's very laid back. I think Heartburn was a really different release for her because like before that, you know, You Can't Sit With Us, Pura Pipam, La La Le, even Siren, those are really like high energy songs. And Heartburn is much more like not low energy because it's not a ballad, but like it's just way more chill and like calm and like plinky. And Childhood is a really, really beautiful, like it just kind of makes you want to like drive like through a windy, pretty day, and I love that song. I think it's really, really pretty.
Good choice. Okay, I'm going to use my recommendation time to talk about another world tour that was announced today. And I know that we have so many listeners in Europe, and you guys get ignored and passed over by the K-pop tours a lot. So I was really excited when I saw this and I wanted to shout it out on the show. But our baby Blitzers are going on a 12-city European tour.
Oh my God, Blitzers!
In October. So if you live anywhere near Milan, Zurich, Paris, Amsterdam, Brussels, Hamburg, Cologne, Frankfurt, Berlin, Prague, Vienna, or Munich, you can see Blitzers in October, and I really think you should go see them.
You should.
They're good and sweet, and you should tell them that you heard them on our podcast, and I just want to spread the AMAK love in Europe with our Blitzers.
Shout out Blitzers! They were a fantastic show, super high energy. Their music is really fun. They are incredible dancers. Shout out Blitzers. Go see them.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say that because I know that there are so many people in Europe who listen to this. So go see Blitzers.
Yeah, do it. I love that. I love that for them. And I love that for y'all if you get a chance to see them. They're a good time. They're a good time.
That is all for this week. If you would like to get in contact with us, we can be found at AMAK Pop Pod on Twitter and Instagram, amakpoppod@gmail.com for emails, 181-AMAKPOP5. You can send us texts or voicemails to that number. P.O. Box 26096, Los Angeles, California 90026 for regular old mail. Patreon.com/AMAKPopPod. You can join and support the show and get extra episodes. Linktree/AMAKPop will take you to our Spotify, our YouTube channel. You can join our Discord, hang out with other listeners. And those are all the places to find us. And next week, it's, you know what time of year it is. It's time to support girl groups in 2022. So get ready, y'all, and we will see you then. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Jonghyun, you're our inspiration.